Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Back with another one, Masters and None podcast, episode 210. 210 episodes we've done. These things are flying by. That's hours and hours and hours of us talking on the internet. But yeah, we're here. We're live. Thank you guys again for tuning in. If you're tuning in live right now, please jump in the chat. Let us know you're with us. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so every time we go live, you never miss an episode. And if you can't watch the video version of the podcast, please check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeartRadio, all of those audio podcast listening platforms. If you don't find us on your favorite one of those, if one of them is not listed in that list, you can always just hit us up in the Discord, harass us, as Berto says, and let us know which platform the audio version of our podcast is missing from, and we will be sure to add it to there for you. So that's what we got. We're still doing remote episodes, so make sure you guys hit that thumbs up for us. Make sure you guys are in the live chat and let us know. Yeah, so shout out to Big Open to chat over a week of podcast in hours. Yeah, dude, that's a lot. Some of those episodes stretches are as much as 2 to 3 hours in the early days. We thought we were on that Rogan shit. Then we thought people cared to listen to us for 3 hours.
Jesus Christ.
What are you Jesus Christing about? What's up?
No, you're right. I'm just like saying, yeah, you're right. Jesus Christ. Remember doing podcasts for 3 hours?
Yeah, that shit was crazy, but we're back. We're still closing in on 1,000 subscribers, so we appreciate everybody. And yeah, man, that's it. I took your part of the intro because it needed to be done.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. The lights went out here at some point and completely reset all the settings on the Rodecaster, so I had to go over there and just turn on like my ability to hear myself and you and everybody else and all the good folk. I can't hear myself, but I'm not going to allow that to stop me. I keep looking over my shoulder. For the people who don't know, if you haven't been keeping up with us during these remote episodes, our reference monitor is over here. I know it's a bad idea. We should put it over here, and we will. But for now, it's over here. So whenever I got to look at Justin, I got to look this way. So if you see me looking this way, it's because I'm hawking Justin. I should sit in his chair. I'm just afraid. I'll take some of his mojo. Next thing you know, I'll be walking the streets with a stick.
Next thing you know, man, it'll be looking crazy. I'll be texting I'll be up in the Discord talking about tech. I'll be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I'll suddenly grow a beard. I should sit in your chair. Maybe I'll get a beard. But dude, there's a lot of stuff going on since we last spoke. A lot of stuff cycling. Some of the same stuff, but some new stuff.
Yes, a lot of things.
Last time we spoke, we were really heavy on the Olympics, USA. And it seems like there's more like Olympic stuff in the news. Still, people are still upset about Mr. Beast for like, it seems like every week they find a new thing to be upset at him about. A lot of stuff. Google taking a huge loss in the courtroom today, or this week rather said. A lot of stuff going on. So I think we should start off where we left off and jump right into the Olympics and some of the controversy surrounding the Olympics. Is that cool with you?
Of course. Let's start with the Olympics, Papa.
All right, so we'll start with the elephant in the Olympic room. During one of the there's a lot of controversy surrounding a moment that happened during the boxing portion of the Olympics, where a Italian boxer was fighting a. Where's the other one from? Where there was a boxer, Angela Karani. I wrote it down. Carini, excuse me.
Angela Carini. The other one's Algerian.
Yeah. So there was Italy versus Algeria. Algeria hit Italy twice, and she took a knee and essentially tapped out. And that's not really the controversial news. The controversial news is surrounded around the Algerian fighter who is allegedly born a man and transitioned and is now fighting at the Olympic level, fighting somebody who was born a woman in the female division of the Olympics.
Yeah. So, people are saying that it's more complicated than that, that there's kind of that in-between anomaly where sometimes people are born. Listen, there's an XY chromosome. Argument over. I don't care. I don't care. There was actually a doctor that I subscribed to on YouTube, and I listened to the guy. He was really interesting. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He breaks down MMA injuries a lot, like immediately after they happen.
I think I seen his video on Drop Foot.
Yeah, yes, on YouTube. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, he's like a kind of like a little nerdy Malcolm in the Middle looking Poindexter guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's in Paris for the Olympics right now, and he did a breakdown on this Iman Khalif story. And he's like, really? It's not as simple as it sounds? I'm like, it doesn't matter what your credentials are. Shut up, dude.
So wait, I don't get it. I don't want to sound like a bigot, but I just want to like, what is their rationale? Was it not somebody who's transgender fighting somebody who's not? Like, what is?
No, apparently from what I've read and what I've seen regarding this fighter, it's not that she's trans. It's that she was born with some kind of anomaly, something at birth. People are referring to it as kind of that intersex type of thing where there's like partial organs. I don't know what the story is. Well, but I know the chromosomes are XY.
Excuse my French. I'm not a scientist, but are they talking about like hermaphrodites? Is that a thing? I don't even know if that's a curse word nowadays. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that shit. But is that what we're talking about?
I don't know. I think that lands kind of in the same area as tranny. I don't know if you can say that anymore.
I don't know, dude. I know one thing. When my boy fucking Scotty down the street used to grow pot when I was a kid, there was 2 different plants, right? And there was the ones that grew buds and the ones that grew seeds. If you got one that grew seeds, they just ripped that shit out. They didn't interview it. They didn't ask it questions. They didn't ask it how it felt. They just ripped it out and they were like, all right, you can't be here. There's a place for you too, but it's not amongst like the mama plants. I know it's not that simple with humans, and I'm not saying that we should just rip the dudes out of there, but I'm saying I don't know if I don't know. I guess it's much more complicated. None of my jokes are gonna land now because there's this line of empathy we have here because it's like it's not really what we believe it is. It's not a man who was a man for many years and then transitioned and is now. But and shout out to Algeria for really putting it all out there, going for the W though. They knew who to send to get the job done, right? Am I right?
I mean, listen, if we could put Floyd in there to knock out some little Chinese woman or something like that in the gold medal round, I mean, listen, let's do it.
Yeah, 100%. Put Floyd in a wig, send him in. Bring home the gold, baby. Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Let's go. The money team. But, yeah. But it's I think that the XY chromosome needs to be the end of it. This person already failed gender testing in another international competition a few years ago and was barred from competing. But then the International Olympic Committee allows it. So I don't know. I mean, like I've said in the past, I mean, I don't care. Live your life how you want to live your life. Do what it is you want to do. But if you have an XY chromosome, you don't get to punch women in the face. That's domestic violence anywhere outside of sport.
That's crazy, dude. That happens nowhere. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not really. Dude, she hit her twice, and the girl just dropped and was like, all right, I'm not fighting. She's probably never been hit harder before in her life.
That's what she said in the interview. She said, I've never been hit like that ever. She's like, I was hit so hard. I said, I can't allow this person to hit me anymore.
Yeah.
So
you think she knew before she got in there? She was like, you know what? This person hits me. I'm just going to take a knee. I'm going to be a martyr. They're going to fucking build statues of me.
Maybe. So? They're going to have her right next to Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. I wonder if Iman ended up taking gold. I wonder, does this girl go to the top? Does she make it? Is that it? Or does she get beat up by another country? Lord, we need to check whoever beats her up if she don't win. If she don't win, we need to check who beat her for a sack.
Now we just need to drop like a Mongolian killer in there and just punch that dude's head off. That's what needs to happen.
Man, I'm getting a phone call from a number I don't know. I'm almost tempted to pick it up.
Pick it up, yo. Put that scammer live on the air.
I was going to, but you know what? I'm not going to pick it up because I don't know who it is. If they call me back, I'll 100% pick it up.
You should pick it up so we can get that. Hello, it is is this Roberto?
Yeah, somebody, it says it's a Google number. Speaking of Google, great transition.
Speaking of which.
Google just recently lost their antitrust lawsuit, which is a huge deal. They were being sued because of the alleged monopoly they have on search engines. And it was found that like what they're doing is illegal because not because everybody loves Google search engine, it's because they pay money to be the preferred search engine on all these different devices and platforms. They say in 2021, Google paid $26 billion to secure their spot as the default search engine on throughout different platforms and devices.
I think that is big, number one. And I'm just waiting for them next to just be hit with why they're suppressing certain information and scrubbing certain stuff from the internet. That's the next one I'm waiting for.
Well, that's a different case, but I mean, this is real big because it's gonna. We don't know what's gonna happen. There hasn't been any consequences handed down. We don't know if Google's now gonna kind of split the company up a little bit to make this to continue their reign. We don't know if they're just gonna eat the fees and say, hey, suck it. We'll just keep doing it until you guys find us enough to. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if there's just going to be fines. If there's going to be fines along with, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We just know that the judge found that what they're doing is, I guess, monopolistic. I don't even know if that's the judge's findings. I'm looking over to see if you're laughing at me. But
monopolist.
Yeah, monopolist. They're over here monopolizing things without a mustache or bald head, and I hear that's illegal in most parts.
Without a monocle?
Yeah, but I'm out here monopolizing things with no monocle. How dare you, Google? But yeah, I've seen that in the news. I've seen that on Philip DeFranco. He's the one that told me, and I thought it was very interesting. I wanted to share it with you guys.
That is, we say, and next in news, we have Google losing a very important decision in court cases. This means that...
Yo, that sounds like Keemstar, bro. That sounds exactly like Keemstar more than Philip DeFranco. Philip DeFranco does speak very fast. Dude, when I tell you my chick hates Philip DeFranco because she says like the way he delivers his news like gives her anxiety because he speaks so quickly.
Yeah, he was, if you ask me, he's one of the first guys that tapped into that zero attention span that he knew was coming. And that's the reason why he's so easy to kind of get the story from in a condensed version because he speaks so quickly and it's not even sped up. No. That's how he talks.
It's how he talks, and the editing style cuts like any like blank space at all. There's like no like any kind of space to breathe in any of his videos, and I guess that style works. People watch it. He's also like a super mega OG of YouTube. Like there's not a lot of people who've been doing it as long as Philip DeFranco has been doing it, or even like you look at all the people who were around him. That were like super famous at that time. Not a lot of them like even post videos anymore. I just seen a video by Roman Atwood today. He's somebody who was super big back then. He's one of like the OG dudes. Shane Dawson, people like that. Like a lot of these guys, they're not big YouTubers anymore. We don't know who they are anymore, but they were huge on the platform. Seems like Philly D's the only one that's stuck around and is still creating content. I'm sure he's a bajillionaire.
Yo. If you ask me, Shane Dawson was the pioneer of the colorful, bright thumbnails.
Yeah, could be. Yeah,
you're with right. Like the face, with the human face in it. Mm-hmm. He was like the first one that I can recall.
It's so funny you say that because the second you said it, I could see his thumbnails. Like I could see him like grabbing his face in his thumbnails.
Yeah.
You know, him, like,
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
I think like people like Roman Atwood, like they were like the first people to start like that real like merch thing where they started killing, like making money off of merch. I think Roman Atwood had like a brand called like Just Smile or something like that I know he made buku money off of.
Yeah, they definitely were early on crushing it. Isn't it so crazy that now social media platforms and YouTube are now being infiltrated by Hollywood stars and people that are bigger? Like Will Smith's YouTube channel has exploded. It's they were always, YouTube and internet creators were always seen as not legitimate compared to Hollywood, compared to, all the major network TV shows and all the big movies. But now the movies and the big TV shows, Hollywood productions, they're starting to shift over and infiltrate the online independent creator market.
Yeah, 100%. It's super interesting to see that like now they're picking up on the outliers. The guys who were the nerds in the corner of the cafeteria are now the cool kids, and all the cool kids are coming over to fucking play Dungeons and Dragons or whatever the case may be to get their to ride off these coattails to get these fans. You know, you could even see it in politics. Like what Kamala Harris is doing to TikTok right now is crazy. You know, the fact that
Yeah.
she's hiring a bunch of celebrities to go on stage and endorse her. Like, you know, I think people are criticizing, who was it? I think it was a Chicago rapper. I don't know if it wasn't, it's not Young Dolph, but it was somebody like equivalent, except from Chicago, who like went on stage with her the other day. And it's like, this motherfucker knows nothing about politics, but they're getting on stage with her because they're giving them a bag and they want their voters.
Yeah, she did it. She held some kind of summit the other day, and she had Meg Thee Stallion perform there. And then people started leaving as soon as Meg Thee Stallion came off the stage.
Yeah, dude, you think I'm gonna pick my political candidate based off of like if they would have brought Wheezy F Baby, they would have maybe won me over. But Meg Thee Stallion's 100% not even free Tory.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Yo, it's funny. Somebody said the video I saw Meg Thee Stallion performing. Somebody said Meg Thee Stallion is standing 10 toes down with Kamala Harris, and then somebody in the comments said 10 toes. She might be standing 9.5.
Yeah, yo, you see Tory's dropping more music.
Yeah, he is dropping more music, man. His engineer is a Jedi, bro.
Yeah,
I gotta know who that engineer is, man.
bro, he called Aiden Ross on his stream and he was like, "Yo, Alexa, play this," and the Alexa in the background of his cell started playing music. This motherfucker's got an Alexa in his cell.
Bro, that's wild. Did you see Donald Trump come out and do a live stream with Aiden Ross?
No, did he?
Bro, a live stream with Aiden Ross. He came out to Many Man by 50 Cent, bro.
Oh my God. You know what? Yo, Mr. Trump, if you want my vote, I need him to go and catch a predator with Vitaly. I need him to do an IRL stream with Vitaly and catch a predator. That's what I want. You want to buy my vote? This is how you buy it. Through entertainment. I'm not concerned with what your agenda is and what your talking points are. I want you to catch a pedo with Vitaly and make him eat and make the pedophile do the one chip challenge.
Right. Yeah, he's gonna be like, you can do this with the current president. I'm next. This will all be over.
I bet it's because of Biden.
You wouldn't have access.
I bet you feel comfortable doing this because of Biden, huh? You feel like there's going to be no consequences.
Oh my God, that is crazy,
dude.
Bro.
Speaking of consequences, you see JT got sentenced for his DWI in the Hamptons.
No, I didn't see the sentence. I saw that they suspended his license.
I thought that was a sentence.
Oh, could be, yeah. Could be. They suspended his license, which, I think that's sufficient. I don't think more than that needs to happen.
That was going to be my question. Do you think that that's enough? Do you think that a suspended license is enough, to because I'm not somebody who believes that he needs to be made like an example of. I got plenty of homies with DWIs that lost their license. I don't need to see JT lose it to believe that shit's not good.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't hurt anybody. Nobody got hurt. I don't think he even blew, right? So there's no number. as far as I know. I could be wrong. So, I mean, it's, I don't think anything more than that needs to, to happen. I think suspending his license is sufficient. I mean, it'll stop him from being able to, drive impaired again. But I don't, I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of people that went after him and stuff like that. Why are you driving? You're rich. You could have a driver. The guy just probably wanted to be a normal guy, have a couple beers and wait a bit and drive himself home. I mean, I think celebrities they crave being normal more than anything. And what's more normal than being a dummy on Long Island, hanging out with your friends, having a couple of beers, and then driving yourself home? That's the dumbest, most regular guy, dumb shit to do.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to be a regular guy doing dumb shit.
Big Gulp in the chat said, dude probably uses a car service most of the time anyways. And I was just going to say that, like, him having a suspended license isn't really that much of a punishment. Like, yeah, he deserves to be punished for whatever he did, blah, 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 blah. But, it's not like me or you losing a license. You know what I'm saying? It's like this guy losing a license isn't that big of a deal. I'm not saying he should have got a harsher sentence because he's so financially successful that it isn't as much of a burden on him. However, I will say that I agree with Big Gulp in the sense that he'll be all right. He'll use the car service for a little bit. And you know what? Even if he doesn't, he drives on a suspended license, he's got money. He's got lawyer money, so he'll be all right. I'm not really, for or against this. I don't really care. I guess if that's what his sentence was, and he had a clean record before this, nobody was hurt. I don't object to this sentencing.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm all right with it. I mean, he didn't hit anyone. He didn't flee, the scene of an accident. He didn't have people in the car with him. He didn't have passengers. It's not like he had, two girls that he met there and then decided to, to drive them. It's not like he had his kids in the car or something like that. So, it could be worse. I mean, people get light sentences for much worse than what he did. So
how much of a better story would it have been, though, if he had like two frillies with him? He had like two chicks in the car.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play that. Like, you remember when Nancy Pelosi's husband was wasted and wrecked his Porsche?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Didn't they sweep that whole thing under the rug?
Dude, not only did they sweep it under the rug, they said that there was another person in the car, and they just let the person leave, and he didn't get into trouble. I was like, oh, that was his side piece or something that Nancy Pelosi probably knows about, or something like that, and it just would have been this big scandal. So they never named the person, but like multiple people said there was like a younger woman in the car with him.
Woman? It was definitely that dude that showed up to his house with the hammer. That's who the fuck it was.
Oh my God, how terrifying was that? That was definitely... Dude, you need an intervention when there's a guy that broke into your house with a hammer and you're still holding your drink when the cops show up.
Yeah. Dude, it wasn't the guy in a trench coat naked. If you show up to my house with your dick out in a trench coat, I'm not going to be holding my drink long enough for you to hit me with that hammer.
Nah, he wasn't in a trench coat naked. There's video of him there when the cops arrive and they open the door.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I take that back. I've been corrected. This gentleman was not ass naked and he was not wearing a trench coat. However, he was wielding a hammer.
Yeah, did you not see the video?
Yeah, I seen the video.
Bro, that video is scary, man.
Yeah.
That video is scary, but I'll tell you what. I think her husband was in his underwear. I think that's what it was. He had a long sleeve shirt on.
That's why I'm thinking somebody was like kind of naked.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, dude, how lax is your security? This woman was the Speaker of the House, bro. That's like, if I remember correctly in global studies, I think she's like third in line to become president. If something happens to the president, it becomes vice president. If something happens to the vice president, she's the president. And she's like in her crib, or her husband is in the crib, and somebody manages to just get into the house with a piece of hardware, like a weapon from the fucking corner store, just a claw hammer or a ball peen hammer. That's all you needed to infiltrate the Speaker of the House's crib?
Her security, this guy opened the door and almost had a conversation with him. He seemed like he knew him. Dude, it was so lax that people were convinced that they knew each other.
Yeah, I was at first until he cracked him and that dude hit the floor snoring like... I was like, oh no. I was
Yeah.
like, he's not okay.
People need to use their peephole more often. We need to use their cameras. You know what I'm saying? Confirm who that is before you start opening the door to gentlemen wielding hammers in the middle of the night.
He was more than likely half in the bag from drinking. He must have been. He must have been. He's like, oh, that looks like Charlie out there.
There's my Uber Eats order.
Yeah, for real, for real.
He said, I didn't order from Home Depot a hammer. Man, I'm hammered. All right. I got something that came up in my head that I didn't write down. I don't have a ton of information on, but I'll ask you. Maybe you have some information on it. Did you see what's going on with like DraftKings and all those like online gambling apps and how they got hit with some kind of a tax or they got hit where they got to pay some money? So now they're like implementing some kind of a tariff on your winnings, and New York is one of the states that are affected. So when you hit for $10, you really hit for like $9 and change. Now,
wow,
it'll be going into effect like I think next month or something of the sort.
What do they take? Is there a percentage?
There is a percentage. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't going to talk about this today. I didn't have it written down, so I don't have a ton of information on it. I wish we're Twizzless right now. So when Justin's back in the studio and we got the producer back in the house, then we'll be able to bring these things up on the fly and talk about them. I wish I had more information on it, but that's essentially the gist of what I have. I think like 6 states are affected by it. But I think it's crazy. It's something that 100% when I listened to the article, it turned me completely off, make me not want to even use apps like that. Because I mean, like, and when you lose money, they don't take any less. They take just as much as you lost. But if you win money, you're not going to get all your winnings anymore.
All right, so I just pulled it up on Forbes. So the state-sanctioned online sports betting industry in the U.S. is about 6 years old and continues to evolve. So in its Q2 earnings report, August 1st, DraftKings Sportsbook, a leading player in the American market that was worth $10.9 billion in 2023, announced that it plans to implement a new surcharge on customers in a group of states with higher tax on the industry. This decision comes weeks after Illinois, one of the country's largest state-level sports betting markets, decided to more than double its tax rate on the industry. So here's what DraftKings is saying. Beginning January 1st, 2025, New York, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and Vermont will see a roughly 2 to 5% online betting surcharge. The timing coincides with the lucrative NFL playoffs. It's always a money grab. New York is run by thieves. Notice I guarantee that they're all corrupt officials that are involved in these governments. That's it. New York just does anything they can, like the congestion tax. You believe that? You've seen that in New York City, right?
I did see it, but at the same time, they're putting this on the company, and the company's pawning it off to the consumer.
Any company is going to...
Dude, how much did they make?
Any company would do that.
How much did they make? How much
how much they made. It says how much the company was worth.
Billions of dollars? They need to eat that, bro.
I mean, they don't, though.
Of course they do. They're the ones being taxed. It's not the state isn't telling them that they need to tax us. You're on theirs. I mean, I'm not on there. I don't think that they should pawn it off to us as a consumer. No, I don't think that that's appropriate. Even if there's some corrupt shit going on with the government and they want to fuck with them because they're making the money, it is what it is. That's between the government and them. They got to figure that shit out. They can't just pawn it off to me.
Sure they can. That's how a business works. A business is not going to eat extra costs that are tacked on to them when they can pass it to the consumer. Every business does that. They just hide it. They hide it. They inflate the price of products. That's just how it goes. When they say that they're going to charge, minimum wage, they got to increase minimum wage for fast food service workers. They're going to increase the minimum wage for fast food service workers, but a Whopper is going to go up $2 more.
Yeah,
that's just what's going to happen.
That's corporate greed. That's essentially what you're saying. The government's doing. That's what they're doing. They can't take that 2% hit. They're going to just pass it off to the consumer. So now we have to pay for it.
That's just the way that most businesses function. I don't think it's right or wrong. I don't really have an opinion on it, but I know that's just how businesses work. If they were to implement like some kind of tax on paper goods, the pizzeria is not going to eat the extra cost for their pizza boxes. They're going to increase the price of their pizza to make the customer pay for the pizza boxes.
Well, no.
I mean, that's how, right?
I think that there's obviously there's variations of this, right? I think that if the pizza boxes go up, we don't see like the prices of like things like that. Like I'll use pizza as an example, right? This pizza isn't like an ever fluctuating amount. It's like when you go to the pizzeria, it costs what it costs, and that's it. Maybe like a year later it goes up, and then it stays up at that cost. It goes up a cent, whatever. It's not like every time the pizza, the vendor says that they got to pay more, it gets passed on to the consumer. I think maybe at the end of the year they determine how much they make, and I don't mind if they're making less money and they have to remain profitable. So they have to pass, some things have to be passed on to the thing. This is something different. This is the government saying, hey, listen, you didn't pay enough taxes. We're going to increase it for whatever reason. You got to pay more in taxes. And they're like, okay, we'll pay more in taxes. And instead of paying more in taxes, they just take it. They're taking it from your winnings. I'd be more comfortable with them starting a subscription.
Yeah.
They're saying if something is plus 1,000 and I put $10 on it, I don't get $100. I get $909. It's like it's I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with it, especially because I already have to pay for I'm already going to get taxed on my winnings. If I win enough money, they're going to tax me on it anyways. So now I get taxed again. So now let me get this right. If I win $100,000, you're going to take 3 to 5%, right? So that you can offset your fucking taxes. Then when I claim those winnings, the government's going to take 40% of it, and then I get to keep what's rest? Like, how is that cool?
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that.
No, I mean, it's definitely not cool, but it's a very common business practice. That's my only point. That's my only point. And it's happening. We just happen to live in one of the most corrupt states in the union. New York. New York is one of the worst states to live in, period. When it comes to income tax, property tax, any kind of tax, any kind of charge, they have a goddamn congestion tax in New York City. If you work in certain areas in New York City, like near Times Square, near Midtown Manhattan, they charge you money to enter those areas, bro. It's like $10 or like $12 to drive through the area you would have to go to get to work.
Yeah, that's not super far, and they've always had you always have to pay to get into the city for the most part, Staten Island, and they've just the congestion tax thing. I can understand like people being upset about, even though it's kind of always been there, it's just not called a congestion tax. This tax, it's not just New York. And they're not doing it to the people of New York. They're doing it to this company, something that wasn't even allowed in New York for mad years. And honestly, now that I'm older, I don't even know if I want gambling around. I don't know if this is the kind of degeneracy that I want to be, just be legal in every state. I thought at one point where I was like, man, let them build casinos everywhere. And now I'm kind of like, man, I don't mind that we didn't have casinos and weren't allowed to gamble before.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like they're putting a tax on these guys who make billions of dollars, off their users, and then they pass along this tax onto their end users. I don't know. I get what you're saying, that this is happening in businesses everywhere. I don't know. Does this happen with, you see the tax on tobacco, right? But when you go to different states, the price of cigarettes aren't the same. They go down. That tax is based on the state. So while a pack of Newports is $20 in New York, it's not $20 in Florida. I don't know if that helps my argument at all.
That's because they don't have the same level of corruption in the taxing. So for that reason, they don't have to increase the price to the rate they have to increase it in New York, because they don't have to pass as much off to the consumer.
Yeah, but what's happening is that tax that you pay on cigarettes, it's taxed by the state. It's a state tax you're paying. It's not the big tobacco you're paying the tax to. This is the company.
Okay, I got you.
We're literally they're putting a surcharge on us. They're not labeling it a tax. They just know that they're going to take a hit because of something. And how do they offset that hit? Let's fucking give everybody the long dick of the fucking tariff and tax them 2 to 3%, 2 to 5% on all their winnings. On all their winnings that they're going to have to pay for taxes on anyways. On money that I've already had taxed when I got it.
I know. Yeah, damn, you're right.
Yeah, in
you're
a space
right,
that they're flooding with advertisements that they get paid for, selling my information. Is that not enough? Is the billions of dollars that they made not enough? They need 2 to 3% more? They need 2 to 3% of my winnings anyways? I haven't fucking won a bet in 6 months. Is that not enough? They should use my losing spree as something to offset how much that 2 to 3% I pay. They should say, you know what? Roberto hasn't fucking hit a parlay since 23. Maybe we should hold off on him.
Yo, for real, bro. They'll be like, yo, come on, man. Let this guy rock, man. Let this guy rock. This is the first $8 he won in 3 years.
It seems like popular companies could do whatever the fuck they want to their users, and we should just eat shit because people are incapable of standing up for themselves and saying, you know what? No, we're not going to use this app anymore. No, we're not going to buy at this restaurant anymore. We're so incapable of stopping to do things that are trendy that they could put a fucking 40% tax and people would still use that stupid app.
You know what? I'm with you on this. So why don't we boycott this app? Let's not use it anymore. I'll delete it off my phone right now.
Well, we got till fucking December. We got till January, Let's wait till April. But no, listen to me right now. Ladies and gentlemen of the Masses and None Network, listen to me. I promise you, the day they implement that shit, I will never use it again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm down with that, man.
And they're not going to lose anything. Again. They're not going to lose anything by me not using it. They're not going to lose anything by Justin not using it. But I promise you, if everybody said that they weren't going to use it, that shit would go away. Ask PayPal what happens when people say they don't want to use their shit anymore.
Oh, hell yeah. I still don't use PayPal, bro. I deaded PayPal as soon as they tried that sneaky shit. And I stuck with it, bro. I even deaded Venmo.
These companies are only as powerful. These companies are only as powerful as their users, as the people who continue to use their shit. I promise you, there's 30 other different companies that you could online gamble with, And I don't know. It's just I didn't like it. It rubbed me the wrong way.
Nah, you sold me. Screw that. I hate that company. DraftKings.
I mean, you already make so much money, dude. It's like, is it not enough? It's already like a disgusting like side of like business, right? Gambling, making money off of all these people, like people losing all their shit. I don't know how much I like the industry in general. Now, when you do some slimy shit like this, turns me off even more.
Berto for Prez. That's right.
No, I don't know.
Berto for Prez.
I don't know.
With that.
I don't know. We got a bunch of other stuff to talk about. I don't want to just keep spewing about the I'd rather talk about the new Mr. Beast show that's coming out on Amazon that people are all crying about. Did you hear about the show?
Oh, what's this about?
Dude, Mr. Beast is going to do a show on Prime where 1,000 contestants compete for $5 million.
Wow. And what do they have to do? Kidnap a bunch of kids and deliver them to Chris?
Yeah.
What do they have to do? They have to help Chris Tyson get his hands on some children?
No, so we don't know what they're doing yet. But what's going on right now, the controversy surrounding this new show is that contestants, losers who've already been kicked off the show, are complaining about the activities that they're doing. They're saying that the activities that they're doing, they're competing in, are skewed in favor of men because they require you to be very athletic and strong. And they're saying that their conditions that they're living in are, inhumane. Individuals are leaving the shows with broken bones, and other people who are contestants on the show who are in need of medication aren't being provided that medication. But
what medication? Let me guess. Your Adderall that you need so bad because you can't focus, and now you're essentially a meth head. Shut up.
Don't be so insensitive, Justin. It's Ozempic what they need. So essentially, what? So and this is all by people who are already out of the show. But here's my opinion on this, right? I'll obviously I would love to hear your opinion after this. I just have to get this out of my head because I've been thinking about it all day. 1,000 people competing for $5 million. Listen to me, Jimmy Beast. You could put me in whatever condition you want for $5 million. If I'm competing for $5 million, I want it to be that kind of an environment. I want it to be sweaty. I want it to be miserable. I want everybody to hate it there because I want you guys to get out. I want you to fold. I'm not going to be the guy that folds because you didn't bring me my Ozempic. You know what I'm saying? They're saying that they're only bringing them meals that are like 500 calories every 12 hours. Put me in that condition, Jimmy. Pick me. I'm not going to leave this place complaining because all these people are getting a chance to win $5 million. And whoever wins that $5 million, whether they were deprived of medicine or meant to sleep in conditions that were deemed unacceptable at the time, if they won that $5 million, they would not be complaining about the situation they were in.
Yeah, no. They wouldn't be complaining about anything. It's because they lost. They're essentially sore losers. They're entitled little dummies that just did not have what it took to win the money. So now they're just complaining, just like the kids that cry and complain when they don't get accepted to schools and they cry discrimination or whatever. No, your test scores suck and you're dumb. Has nothing to do with any other reason. Same reason why, when people lose in certain arenas, certain kind of sports and stuff like that, they complain. Same reason why LeBron James cries every time he, does anything at all in the NBA because he wants every single call for him. He's just entitled. Entitlement is the death of the Western civilization. I swear to God.
I'm with Big Up on this one. He says that they signed up for it. What did they expect? You got to compete for $5 million. What do you think it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. You guys wouldn't make it through a trial class. I'm telling you right now.
You would make it through a free trial class.
Wouldn't make it through a trial class. No, I just think it's just interesting, man. What are your thoughts? 1,000 people competing for $5,000. Contestants stating the conditions are unfair based on receiving little food, not receiving their appropriate medication, and lack of sleep. What's your thoughts based on this very limited information I've given you?
They're living like me. I don't get it. They're living exactly like me, and I don't have $5 million waiting for me.
Yeah. It's like every 12 hours they get a meal. They get a meal delivered to them, and it's not enough. They're like they're only 500 calories, and I'm just like, you guys are going to be shredded when you leave there. I wish somebody kept me to that kind of discipline.
The hell are you talking about? You're living the life of the average single American male.
Yeah. They're like, they're only getting 5 to 6 hours worth of sleep. I'm like, yep, check. That's another thing. I'm like,
check.
You guys are competing to win $5 million.
Yeah. Didn't get your meds? Check. Didn't get sleep? Check. Conditions you're dissatisfied with that you live in? Double check.
Yeah. Dude, he could have done anything. He could have sent all those guys to oh man, sometimes I go too far. He could have sent all those guys to Kyiv in the heat of the war. And I would have thought, yep, $5 million, go out there and get it, boys. Earn it,
Yeah, like come on, dude. What are we talking about? Give me a break, brother. Give me a break, brother.
I don't know. Yeah, shout out to Sketch. Really made a bounce back. I don't know. That's the story about Mr. Beast. I feel like people always look for things to hate on Mr. Beast about. Whether he's building houses in Uganda or,
best friends with a kid diddler.
Yeah. Hiding kid dealers, whatever he's doing, people will find a reason to hate on him. I stand with you, Jimmy. Sometimes.
I think he has done a lot of great things for people, and this is just what happens. I think he's finally getting the full spectrum of how unappreciative people are.
Yeah, even if you give your homies a life that they want and let them live in a life of luxury, they'll still try to touch a kid while being on your team.
Yeah, that.
Oh.
And also, the entitlement that people have. Like, you can never, ever do enough for people. They will always say you didn't do enough. You could have done more. Okay, you gave me $1,000. Why didn't you give me $2,000? You bought me a Porsche. Why didn't you buy me a Ferrari? It's always going to be, just the dissatisfaction of of man. We're never satisfied with anything. I'm literally going through this kind of like that. I'm trying to put myself in this space where I just have more gratitude. It's so easy to catch yourself focusing on what you don't have, and I think that's really ruining a lot of the mental space that most of us live in every day, man. It's bad news.
Yeah, I agree. I concur. But listen, Justin, we're approaching the hour.
No way.
Yes, we are.
Talking about?
We're approaching the hour. I've been talking this entire episode. I've been chatting your ear off, holding you hostage in conversation. I want to give you an opportunity to get some stuff that you want to talk about out there. What is it that is there anything specific you want to talk about? Anything you anything you found interesting this week?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of touch on that live Joe Rogan stand-up on Netflix.
Oh man, great segue. Yeah, let's talk about it. I won't tell you my opinion yet because it might be a rather strong one. So go ahead. First of all, tell the people what we're talking about.
All right, so this past weekend on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Pacific and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Netflix, Joe Rogan did his first ever live stand-up stream. It was on Netflix, which seems to be kind of the way that Netflix is doing things now. Is they've had multiple things, including the Tom Brady roast that streamed live. They're kind of taking over this R-rated live stream capability that TV doesn't do. That is too high production to allow it to be live in most instances, and Netflix is willing to kind of have that human element of somebody doing something live and potentially making a mistake, potentially doing something crazy, like when Gronk spiked that shot glass and put glass in that chick's face in front row during the Tom Brady roast. Those things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But so Joe Rogan did this stand up, and to be honest, I saw like 80% of that set when I saw him live in Atlantic City last year, I think. So first of all, it's been 6 years since he did a special, which I thought was crazy. I didn't think it was that long. But I think doing it live definitely changes some of the dynamic. But I will say this. When I saw him perform in Atlantic City, it was much cleaner, much better. It was received better. So, that's kind of my take on it. So I have a different perspective because I pretty much saw like the keeper take in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
So I didn't watch it from the beginning. It was live. I just started watching it from when I turned it on. I did catch a decent amount of it. I felt the same way. I didn't think it was great. I love Joe Rogan, right? But I like him more for like overall Joe Rogan. I like him for his podcast. I like him for what he's done for the comedy world. I like him for a lot of things. I'm not the biggest fan of his stand-up. I'm not saying he's not funny. He's definitely funnier than I am. But I'm not the biggest fan of his stand-up. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was hilarious by any means. I thought he had a couple funny fucking jokes. I love that he really rode the edge, or kind of not even rode the edge, went over the line when it came to some of his jokes. He made a lot of jokes that people would have thought were too inappropriate a couple years ago. I like that stuff because it keeps those jokes alive. I think when guys like Joe Rogan go up and they if he was to kind of silence himself at all, or kind of PC himself up for the Netflix special, it loses a little bit of authenticity. But when he goes out there and he starts dropping F-bombs, it warms my heart.
I agree. I would say though that he seemed hesitant on some of those jokes, because some of those jokes, not for nothing, some of those jokes fucking bombed. Let's call it what it is. It was dead silent at multiple punchlines.
Yeah, but was this a room of people who could just afford the tickets, or was this a room of real fans? This is what we're talking about. It's like when you get a room full of people who just want to go see Joe Rogan because he's in town, or you get a room full of people who are actually fans, you're going to get a totally different response. It's going to be the same thing. Justin and I are going to an event this weekend, and there's going to be a lot of people who are just there because they just hear that this person's doing a show and it's in the Garden and it's going to be a good time, and they just go and they have no idea who it is. You know, I was just talking to somebody about, you know, we're going to go see Kill Tony. I was just talking to somebody about it the other day, and they were like, oh yeah, that's that show with that guy. And he's like, oh man, I would love to go see that. And I was kind of like, oh, it's funny, you know, because I feel like that's what the room is going to be. A lot of people who kind of don't know what it is, but they could afford it, so they went.
Yeah, I think Kill Tony might not be there yet. I think Kill Tony is going to be a lot of fans, but it is getting to that point. I think Joe Rogan is so world famous now for so many things. There are people that were probably sitting in that audience that thought he was like a spokesperson for what was that medication they were giving him when he had COVID?
Oh, the horse tranquilizer shit.
The horse dewormer they were calling it, but it was God damn it, I can't. It evades me, damn it. But he's in so many realms, and he's got his hands in so many pots that I think that room was full of people that probably aren't even aware of his stand-up. They know him for his podcast, or they know him for his political views, or they know him for passing a joint to Elon Musk, that kind of stuff. And they're sitting in a room with no idea what is about to happen. And I think that he told a lot of those jokes in a room full of corny-ass people that don't know comedy.
Two things.
And I think... What?
No, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that was pretty much it, you know?
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off. Two things. The medicine was ivermectin.
That's right, ivermectin.
Second thing, there was definitely a couple guys in the crowd that were waiting for Neil deGrasse Tyson to come out and like do like a lecture after his show. Like they'd have no idea what they were in for.
Exactly. They were waiting for Neil deGrasse Tyson's arrogant, stupid ass to come out. I can't stand that guy.
You don't like him?
I hate that. I hate Neil deGrasse Tyson. Bro, the way that when he's by himself in a room talking, he's very nice. He's very nice. He gives off a very sweet kind of Mr. Huxtable vibe. Nice guy, very relatable. You're like, oh man, what a nice guy. I'd like to talk to this guy. What a nice guy. I'd like to talk to this guy. No. But then sometimes you see him when he's talking with someone on a podcast and they start to mention whatever, a black hole or a star, and he becomes this arrogant, pompous prick in a matter of seconds. And he's just like, wait, don't talk about anything that has anything to do with celestial matter. Wait a minute. Let me just tell you how stupid you are right now. That's the way he talks to people, and the tone he uses. That's kind of the message he's delivering. Like, you're out of your depth here, son. Let me handle this. And I can't stand when he gets that way, bro. I'm like, you would get knocked out in any room. So for that reason, to me, you cannot just talk that way to people, man.
Well, that's what
Joe
they say.
Rogan will stand up and round kick you in your stupid fat head, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. Watch your mouth.
That's what they say he did to Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard said he just kind of left him on red. He said, I would love to have a conversation with you about it. And he was kind of like, yeah. And he was like, all right, well, I'll schedule a date. He's trying to hit his people up, and they're just ignoring him. And then when Joe Rogan had Terrence Howard up again for that 4.5-hour episode that he did with him and I forgot what the other gentleman's name is, but somebody else who else is like
Brett
Weinstein. Very intelligent man. When he had him up there, he was like, I have a feeling that Neil deGrasse Tyson wasn't being very genuine when he was making that offer, and that it was like, you know, kind of not very authentic, which is him kind of telling Terrence Howard, like, yeah, fuck you, like, set up a date, let's talk, and then, you know, ignoring him. So that seems like it's on brand with what you're saying.
Tyson's response. I watched his video where he talked about it and had the paper that Terrence Howard sent him with all of his, philosophies and theories, and he went over the whole thing. I mean, he gave notes, red notes, like with red writing and bullet pointed stuff, and tried to just, all he did was do what you do and appear. This I'll give Neil deGrasse Tyson, as pompous and irritating as he is in a conversation setting. When he's alone and explaining stuff, I'm all ears. He's very intriguing and very easy to listen to. And he just said, I approach this how you approach peer review work that you receive from your friends. Like if your friends give you work, your colleagues give you work, and they're like, listen, I've been doing this research. The idea is that they give it to their peers in the industry. They review it and they critique it and pull it apart as best they can to not allow you to go out there and be foolish and present information that's inaccurate. So that's what he did for Terrence Howard. And Terrence Howard took offense. Terrence Howard, let's call it what it is. He's a 8-year-old with a crazy-ass imagination up in a treehouse at night with the flashlight under the blanket, thinking that he's creating some shit. Yeah. Shut up, Terrence Howard. I gotta tell you, go back. You're not really Iron Man's homie. You're not that guy. Come on. You're more whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. And you are a scientist. Stop it, bro. Perm your hair and relax. Relax yourself and relax your hair.
While I am impressed that he's self-taught on all these things, this isn't
the kind of thing you self-teach. People are trying to give this guy props for self-teaching physics and shit. That's not the kind of stuff you self-teach, bro.
Yo,
it's not cooking. It's not fishing. It's not. Come on with that, bro. That's like self-teaching, Taekwondo on a heavy bag with no internet. You're not a Taekwondo expert. Stop it,
bro. When he has books written. He's got like websites that you can refer to with this information, diagrams and everything. I was incredibly impressed.
Imagine a kid coming. Imagine you're a professor in college, and somebody comes to you and they cite Terrence Howard. I'm ripping that shit in half and telling that kid he needs to redo it. And if you don't want to redo it, you're failing my class.
Yeah, I would throw a Terrence Howard quote in my paper I wrote with like AI just to throw him off. They said, no way AI wrote this. He's fucking citing Terrence. He's citing Hustle and Flow. He said,
I mean, I give him credit for sitting down with these guys, but bro, there's almost like a level of mental illness that you have to experience to go and sit down. Like, imagine going and sitting down with astrophysicists and explaining to them how all their research work and all the people that preceded them are wrong because I made this little triangle shape.
Well, no, it's what's even crazier is that the only reason he got that audience was because of Joe, because Joe has that room in those relationship with those people that he got him to sit down and like, it's almost like, imagine you were like schizophrenic and you thought that the TV was talking to you, and I knew the guy who invented the TV, and I was like, yo, can you come talk to my homie and tell him that shit ain't real? Can you come tell him that like it's impossible that the TV's talking to him? And then I brought you guys together, and you're like, it talks to you, and then you're like, look, the way I designed this is that when you unplug it, there's no electricity running through it, so it can't talk to you. That's what it's like.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, because my non-mathematician, now I hate math, I hate physics, I hate astrophysics, I hate Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm nowhere in that space.
Yeah, Tyson Chicken, all of that.
All that. Now, Tyson Chicken, I invest in that company. They pay a decent dividend. But, so, when you, shout out Tyson Chicken, but when you have somebody that just, I lost my train of thought with the Tyson Chicken.
I'm sorry.
Never mind.
I'm sorry, dude. There's a stupid joke, and I ruined that. I stepped on your thing. I apologize.
That's all right. I don't know.
You were saying how you hate math, you hate physics, you hate Tyson, you love Tyson Chicken.
I hate all that stuff. And I'm the kind of guy that's like, how is 1 times 1 just 1? That's me. Some guy sitting here on a podcast with zero math background. And, imagine being a person, if you were to agree, if these mathematicians and all these like world leading scientists they were all to sit down and be like, damn, 1 times 1 isn't 1. 1 times 1 is 2. That means everything that's happened before today is wrong. Everything, every math discovery, every medical discovery, everything pertaining to science, everything needs to be reevaluated. We can't restart Terrence Howard. We're not hitting restart on the world. Okay?
Yeah, especially not for a 1 times 1. And I'll tell you what, how much of a sheep am I that I just believe it? I'm like, 1 times 1 is 1, but 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, all right, cool. I'll take it.
Yeah, any number times 1 is itself. And he's like, it can't be. With his Terrence Howard voice, it's so funny.
Yeah.
His voice is, man, soothing and smooth. He never gets upset. He's just like, if 1 times 1 is 1, how? How 1 times 1 can't be 2?
Yo, when they were talking, it was like the end of the podcast. It was like they were 4.5 hours in, and Joe's like, all right, we're gonna start wrapping up. And he's like, but I haven't even got to. He was like, Terrence, it's been 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Yo, they keep on saying, and everything he knows is self-taught. It's kind of like when a dude is getting the shit beat out of him in a boxing match or an MMA, and they start saying how tough he is. They start referring to his toughness. You know, it's like, dude, when they start referring to your toughness in an MMA fight, you're getting your ass whooped.
Yeah, you're getting fucked up. That's 100% true. His ability to survive is incredible.
Oh my God, the chin on this guy.
Yeah, iron chin.
You're getting lit up, Papa.
Yeah, that means you're gonna have a stutter in a couple of years. But listen, man, we're over the hour. We covered a lot of stuff. I think we had a great episode. It's time for you to take us out of here, bro.
Take us out of here. Shout out to Big Open in the chat. Shout out to everybody that watched live. Shout out to everybody. Listen, we got people in this live watching us. Make sure that we have just as many thumbs up when we come off the air. It helps the algorithm, helps the channel, helps us out, get this in front of more people. So just please, guys, hit the thumbs up on your way out, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you never miss an episode. And remember, tune into the live episode if you can. If you can't, we always advise that you listen to the audio version on all of the major podcast platforms at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeartRadio, everywhere. And if you don't find us on your preferred audio podcast listening platform, Berto, please let these folks know what they can do.
Join the Discord and harass us until we place the podcast on your obscure podcast listening platform. That being said,
that's what we got.
That's
that being said, guys, Masters of None Podcast, episode 210, and we are wrapped up. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. That was my own version of the music.
Hold on.